Hello, everybody. I apologize for the lawnmower. My neighbor is mowing his lawn, and I want to do an outside video right now. So I'm just going to go with it. If it sounds really bad, I will just make another one, hopefully. We'll see. But I want to do a review for Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. I got out of the theater, I want to say an hour ago, maybe less. And I know there's a lot of talk about this film. The critics hate it. From my experience, the fans, whether it be on the Force.net message board, which I was told I can't put my videos on there, they look at it as soliciting, apparently. So I don't know if that means I can't put these videos, like my videos, on his on the website on the message board, or am I also not allowed to put like other people's videos, like say Scottish Murmurs or Trent the Traveler or something? Is that also not allowed? I don't even know. So basically, to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna not post anything anymore. Am I not allowed to put Spotify either? I always, in the music thread, I always put Spotify, and I believe there used to be a YouTube thread where you could put like random YouTube videos. So you're allowed to put other people's videos, but you can't put yours because that's soliciting. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest with you. Okay, there's like lightning and thunder out here, so I am going to move this inside. Okay, you might notice a difference of location. So I moved inside to do my Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie trailer, not trailer, Mandalorian and Grogu movie review. Sorry, getting all distracted here. Now my neighbor's like mowing on the side of my house, so that might be a sound you hear, apparently. And before he was like in the front, and when I was on a porch, and then there was like lightning and thunder, and I was getting a little scared. There is a cover to the porch, but I don't want to get struck by lightning, so I came inside. I thought it would be safer. So yeah, the critics hate it. The fans on the Force.net message board like it a lot, like more than not. Most people on Rotten Tomatoes like it. I just put out my review on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the same name as my channel, so it's Leo Luca Randisi. So just look for that name if you want to look on Rotten Tomatoes. I also go by that name on the Force.net message board. So if you go on that message board, it's a Star Wars message board, you will see my name, Leo Luca Randisi. So my like ultimate takeaway from this is I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And just like a lot of people, the positive reviews are saying, it is a popcorn flick. It is, you go for the action, you go for the fight scenes, you go for the chase scenes and all that stuff. You go for the popcorn flicky stuff. Some people said that there was a feel like it was episodic, like it was going episode to episode. It felt like a long extended or multiple episodes. I didn't feel that way at all. I felt the pacing was fine, just like any other Star Wars movie, really. I mean, you just went from planet to planet. It's like they do in all Star Wars movies. I really didn't feel that was bad. And then some people said it was boring. I could kind of see where people are coming from with this. Like, I don't know, towards the end of the film, Mando and Grogu like nurses Mando to health and gets help from this old hermit living in a shack that I thought was going to be like Yoda's master, but it's not the case. So that was, I guess, the slow point in the movie that people were talking about. But for me, it was whimsical, funny, and also made me cry. So and my whole family felt this way. We all love the scene, you know, in the swamp when Grogu's like helping Mando uh, nurse him back to health. The crux of the story, and this is going to be spoiler, is Mando gets a job to go to the Huts, and their son is, or no, is it nephew? I think their nephew is kidnapped, and he wants him to go get him. And long story short, he goes to get him. He tells him those Huts are bad. They want to kill me. Blah blah blah. So I left. I like it here. I like the fighting arena, but the Mando said, okay, whatever, and left. And so we got to try this another way. So they, and this is like after they try to rescue him, and they find out that he's going to be killed. He's going to be, someone's going to kill him. That's why they try to rescue him from the prison in the first place. But he's like, guards, get him out of here, you know. The cool thing is Jabba the Hutt was always like this vile gangster. You didn't like him. He was disgusting. This movie humanized Rhoda the Hutt, who I think you met it. Did you meet him as a baby? I think, in the first Clone Wars movie, which came before the show, actually. I believe that's the case. I believe it started out a movie, then it was a show, and so on and so forth. But I think that's when you first meet Rhoda the Hutt, when he's a baby. So Rhoda grows up to be this big, hulking, strong, you know, and they have to fight their way out of the arena. They kidnap Mando and the kid, and they have to like fight their way totally out of here. Long story short, they get out, and now there's a bounty hunter after him trying to get him. So that's basically the crux of the story. And then after he escapes from the Hutts, instead of leaving the planet, Grogu goes to save him. And it's a good thing he did, because he had poison in his body from a bite from some kind of giant snake. So after he heals up, and after he says to Grogu, look, we can leave. We could just go, and we're going to be hunted down by bounty hunters and Hutts and whatnot for the rest of our lives. So what are we going to do? Are we gonna go fight, or are we gonna leave or go fight? And Grogu's like, let's do this. You know, not really like that. You get the gist of what Grogu is saying. And in the end, they save Rhoda. And Rhoda talks. He's the voice is the guy from The Bear, the main guy from The Bear. He also played Springsteen, and really likable character. I thought the effects were great on the Hutts. I thought they did a really good job with the CGI there, and there was also a lot of practical effects that I really liked. And the score was just magnificent. So it was a great popcorn flick, worth seeing. I didn't see many faults in the movie. Great popcorn flick, great score, great special effects, great action scenes altogether. My dad leaned over to me like during the was it during the credits, or no? I think it was during the movie. In the fight scene, planet, that whole planet scene with where they had to fight in the bar, and then that whole planet. My dad's like, "Are you getting like a Blade Runner feel from this?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally." Even the music, even the Goranson score right in that moment felt very much like the synth score from Blade Runner. So I did get a Blade Runner feel from that. Basically, and again, popcorn flick, but it totally felt like it was a father-son flick, definitely. It definitely was, in the sense that Vader, I am your father, was as well. So, you know, they could totally market this for Father's Day next month in June and do a whole thing with that if they wanted to, Lucasfilms. I would recommend to anybody seeing this, especially if you enjoyed the movie, Like if you like, even just somewhat, if you enjoyed the movie in any capacity, I would recommend staying for the credits just to hear the great score, the great Oh, it's the same guy that does the score for the show, so it's just excellent. And I think the guy won an Oscar for his work with some movie he did. I don't know, something with the Oscars, but it was a really really fun, entertaining movie. Now I don't want to say it was like my favorite Star Wars movie because it wasn't, and I got to see it like at least one more time, probably a few more times before I really can judge it. But I just feel like I liked all the Star Wars films so far. So even if this is like last place amongst all the Star Wars movies, it's still a really fun popcorn Star Wars movie. And in the end, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Willow, whether it's Rocketeer, whether it's Tucker the Man in his Tree, I just threw that in there. Whether it's uh, any Lucas films, so Indiana Jones, they're all popcorn flicks to a certain extent. Maybe the Skywalker saga had a little bit more story to it, with the lore, with the Force and stuff. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is still a really fun film and worth seeing. It is a shame that more people aren't seeing this and waiting till it comes out on Disney Plus or whatever. But I highly recommend, if you're a Star Wars fan and you don't see this, I'm just gonna say it, you're not a real Star Wars fan. You're not a real Star Wars fan if you are looking at the bad critics and saying, "Ooh, bad ratings. This is getting bad reviews. I'm gonna not see it." Then you're not a real Star Wars fan. Real Star Wars fans will go see it just because it's Star Wars. Okay, this should be a packed theater filled with nerds and casuals. Don't let the critics sway you one way or the other. I always look at it this way. If all the critics say something stinks, I'm going to see it anyway and make my mind up what I think of the film. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when thinking about seeing this movie. Let's give this a second weekend, bigger than the first weekend, if we can. Let's not let the critics decide our fate here. Because guess what, folks? If this doesn't do good, it could set Star Wars back for like many years. I don't think this is just a Star Wars problem. It's not anything to do with the film or Lucasfilms or any of these new Disney films. I think they're just as good, if not better than what's become before. Maybe not the originals, but the prequels, at least, I would put them right up there, if not ahead of them, the Disney Star Wars. So it's not just a Disney problem. It's not just a Lucasfilms problem. Star Wars isn't fading out of existence. All films are struggling because of the economy, because of COVID. Now, you might say, why COVID? COVID's long gone. Because people are still in the mindset that I don't have to see it in the theater. I can see it streaming. That's the COVID effect. So I think those things are really going against this film. So it's the economy, it's COVID still, the mindset, and the fact that they let you watch movies now right away after they're in the theater. And also the critics are just ripping this apart, and people are seeing that and they're saying, I think I'll just wait till, last year, regardless of what anybody thinks, I loved, and I think you guys know from who are regulars on my channel, that I loved Karate Kid Legends. The critics hated it. It did horribly at the box office. I saw it 3 times. 3 times I saw it. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite films of 2025. And I'm not saying that this is going to be my favorite film of the year, but it's right up there so far. And it's still early in the year. We're only getting into June soon, So anyway, I am giving this movie A 4.5 out of 5. That is a really good rating for me. You guys know me. I usually give stuff only a 5 when it's perfect. Okay, this is a 4.5 out of 5. Now you might see on my Rotten Tomatoes, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because I rate stuff differently on there. If I really like something on there, even if I don't love it, the best out of anything I've ever seen, I still give it a 5 out of 5 because so many people just love to rip these films apart. Whether it's Karate Kid Legends, whether it's Star Wars, what have you, the critics, and now it's everywhere. It's like the internet. People just love to hate things. People just love to friggin' hate things, and that's not right. That's not right. Okay, that's gonna be it, guys. Know that I love the film. I highly recommend going to see it if you haven't. It's really, really fun. It's a fun time. You're gonna love it. You're gonna walk out with I had a big smile on my face like the whole time. Seriously. So anyway, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you very much. 4.5 out of 5. Love it, and love Mandalorian and Grogu. And please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And may the force be with you. God bless, and live long and prosper, people. Thank you. Good night.